Just play the damn thing.
So check this out. Have you guys seen this new Les Paul Custom that Epiphone just announced? This is not your mom and dad's Epiphone Les Paul Custom anymore. I haven't been this excited about an Epiphone in a while. I am really, really impressed, and I'm actually thinking about even buying one myself, which is insane to me. But check this out. These are the two here that I'm talking about. Obviously, there's two versions. There's a black one and a white one, ebony, alpine white, whatever you want to call them. You know, they're a little pricey. You know, the $12.99, but let's go down here and have a look at the specs. And note this, they're just calling this an Epiphone Les Paul Custom. That's what they're calling it. This isn't inspired by Gibson. This isn't a collaboration with the Gibson Custom Shop or a signature model or anything like that. They're just calling it the Epiphone Les Paul Custom Electric Guitar. So I don't know if that means that they're completely updating this model. And by updating it, I'm talking about updating it from the OG, the $800 ones that are right here that have been around on the market forever. And these have been around on the market forever. They've got the updated headstock on them nowadays, but beyond that, they're pretty much the same as they've been for decades. But this one is, well, let's look at the pictures first. This is Sweetwater's website, by the way, so they're going to get some free advertising out of me in this video. You know what? I take that back. Maybe this is inspired by Gibson. I take that back. So I guess that this is in their inspired by Gibson line. So I guess they're not labeling as that, but that's what it is. At any rate, that's definitely a Les Paul custom if I ever saw one. Even has the open book headstock. Double binding. Can't really tell from the picture what kind of finish that is, but it looks pretty high end. Again, there's a close-up of the headstock. Block inlays. I mean, that's a Les Paul custom if I ever saw one. Except the Epiphone, inspired by Gibson. Okay, so I don't know what series this is. And that's the back of it. Pretty incredible. Now, here's the thing. You come down here to the specs. It's all about. It does not say. And the only of all the specs here, I guess the one that I'm the most curious about is the top. Is that a veneer maple or is that solid maple? I don't know. I'm going to assume that it's probably It's probably a veneer maple just because it's Epiphone. That's what they do. But if anybody can confirm that and let us know, that would be fantastic because that would really, really be impressive if it was a solid maple top. Let's see, set neck. That's a long tenon set neck, by the way. That it doesn't say it here on Sweetwater's website, but I did read that elsewhere. Grover Rotomatics, those are the kidney tuners, right? Yep. Stop bar tailpiece, legit tune-o-matic. Here's the legit 490R Gibson USA 490R and 498. Well, it's a 498R. I'm assuming that's a typo because that's the actual Gibson Les Paul Custom comes with the 498, comes with the 490 498 humbucker set in it, which is what this is. This one has 490R, which is weird because that's usually a bridge pickup instead of a neck, but which is why I think that's a typo. Regardless, that's the same pickups that come in the Gibson version. And it even comes with a hard shell case. They're not going to make you buy your own case for it too. So Epiphone / Gibson are doing this one right, man. This is pretty cool. Graph-Tech nut. No plastic crap. 12-inch radius, 24. Your typical Les Paul specs. Again, the body fit. It does not say what the finish is specifically, but yeah, there it is. 498T. So that is a typo down below. Let's see if we can figure out what type of finish it is. If it's polyurethane or If it's nitro, I'm assuming they're going to gloss finish, set mahogany neck. I think if that were nitro, they would probably have, and they probably would have mentioned nitro in it, as opposed to polyurethane. These are mother of pearl, real mother of pearl inlays. Wow, this thing's getting better and better. It's got the Epiphone 2 pneumatic bridge in it as well, so that means it's the SAE metric measurements as you know, in specs, as opposed to the US measurements. So if you buy one of these, keep that in mind. So the specs on this thing are really, really good. You know, for $12.99 they should be, but you know, regardless, you know, I mean, it's, I don't know that Epiphone's put out a has put out a Les Paul of this kind of caliber since the Elitist series, you know, and those have been out of production for a long, long time now. This is really, really exciting for me. You know, if you follow my channel at all, you know how much I love Les Pauls, and particularly, you know, the Les Paul Custom. I've always wanted one, but I mean, that's a $5,000 guitar, and you know, I don't have money to go drop on a $5,000 guitar, you know, whenever I feel like it. Working on it, still trying to get there, but still a long way from that happening. So to see the Epiphone's coming out with this is pretty exciting, I think, and you know, I'm curious to see. You know, I'll be honest, this makes me curious to want to go check out the rest of the Inspired by Gibson Epiphone's Inspired by Gibson line. You know, if they're spec'd out this closely to the actual Gibsons, that's pretty impressive. So, and I also do like the fact they went the extra mile and put the actual Gibson Les Paul Custom headstock on it, as opposed to one of the Epiphone headstocks. Not that there's anything wrong with the Epiphones or the Epiphone headstocks. I've owned this guitar for many, many years, but having that Gibson open book headstock on it is a really, really nice touch. Now, I'm sure there's going to be the people out there that are going to say, "Oh, you know, you're going to spend $12.99. You should just go get a Tribute Series." Well, here's the thing: the Gibson Tribute Series guitars are dog shit. Seriously, they're terrible. They've got the worst the worst feeling finishes on them ever. You know, I mean, they feel like toys. They're the cheapest series in the entire USA line for a reason. You know, and really the only reason, about the only reason they came out with those is because the studios, the price of the studios started to go up, and they wanted to get something that was still down at the time when the tributes came out. They were still under $1,000. But times have changed. Guitars aren't that cheap anymore. Materials to build guitars certainly aren't that cheap anymore, which is why they are now putting out guitars like this one in the Epiphone line. So I'll post a few links to this guitar down in the descriptions, probably from a few different retailers, so you can go check it out yourself and buy it wherever you prefer. Should you want to get yours on order, I got a feeling this is going to be one of those things you're going to want to get it on order sooner rather than later. If you're going to sit here and hang out and wait for it to be in stock somewhere before you pull the trigger, you're going to be waiting a while. You know, that's just the reality. You know, you're going to get it faster if you put your order in and wait on the back order. You're going to get it sooner that way, period, end. Last but not least, drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think of this thing. Let me know if you think this is as cool as I do, or if you think it's, some stupid cash grab or something from Epiphone. Or I don't know. I don't know what people are going to think. I just know what I think. Adios.